Jim Jones. Who is Jim Jones? Like he's not on anyone's top 10 list. He's no one's top 10 list. Maybe not even his family. Maybe are scared to hustle cause, are snitching so much. Maybe that's is what's going on. I would be scared to hustle too when I know that every other is snitching just so he don't want time cause these can't bear to be inside the jail system. Rapper Jim Jones is listed as a federal informant in court documents in the case against Tekashi. In the original court transcripts that were previously released online, the conversation between Individual 1, Jim Jones, is listed as cooperating with federal agents in a conversation with Jamal Murder Jones, which would explain why Jim Jones has been able to have such a lengthy criminal record and avoid prison time in the past. An old audio of Jay-Z just leaked calling Jim Jones a snitch. But Jay's own number one at Roc Nation is a confirmed federal informant. So why now? And why Jim? So, as you all know by now, Jim Jones recently caused a whole lot of drama with his comments about Nas. And that's when all of Jim's old drama started bubbling back up, including receipts that he cooperated with the feds. But here's the confusing part. If Jay-Z is so anti-snitch, why is his own right-hand woman a known informant? And why did Jay give Jim Jones a Roc Nation deal if he knew he was a snitch? As we can tell, there's no expense being spared. We had a black billionaire's lunch. You understand? And we here together. I think we've passed kneeling. Let me play again. But this time, look at the reaction of the lady sat just behind him. The reason why she's worried about how Jay would respond is because she's the CEO of Roc Nation. But in her former life, she was a federal informant. Alright, let's start with the audio leak that set this all off. In this resurfaced clip, Jay was talking about his beef with Jim Jones. And he straight up called Jim a fake rapper who doesn't even register as one of his peers because his role in the industry is not music, but something else. What's up with that, Jim Jones, man? Hip-hop, of course, is a competitive sport. But on the other end of it, it's like certain people shouldn't be able to say your names until they done something in the genre of music. I've done too much in this music to even have to answer that question. Like Jim Jones, who is Jim Jones? Like he's not on anyone's top 10 list. He's no one's top 10 list. Maybe not even his family. I was saying last night he's like the 8th guy on the bench just screaming at Jordan like you're a bum. Like you going to be like the 9th guy on the bench. I'm not even worried about you. Now does this mean Jay knew something about Jim before others caught on? And if Jay was hinting at Jim being a fake rapper and an informant, why did Jay end up bringing Jim to Roc Nation? Alright, let's first talk about these rumors that Jim is a Fed snitch. These rumors have been floating around for a minute, but trust 50 Cent to make sure nobody forgets. 50 brought the snitch talk back into the spotlight with an Instagram post showing Jim next to Jay-Z, Diddy, Fat Joe, and a few others. And he wrote in the caption, LOL, Individual 1, calling the shots out here, I know you working, so please don't say gangsterish to me. Individual 1. Now, if you're wondering what that was about, it ties back to those long-standing rumors that Jim was working with the feds during Tekashi's 6ix9ine racketeering case. See, while 6ix9ine was on the stand snitching on his 9 Trey Bloods crew, a wiretapped phone call leaked where Jim was heard saying that Tekashi ain't a gang member no more and needs to get violated. And of course, didn't waste time and he posted the full transcript of that call. So, as you all know, back in 2018, Tekashi got hit with federal racketeering and gun charges along with a bunch of 9 Trey Gangster Bloods members, a violent crew tied to the Bloods. The feds had been building a case on 9 Trey for a minute. And once Tekashi was arrested and charged, he started cooperating to cut a deal. Brooklyn rapper Tekashi 69 pleaded guilty to federal charges, admitting he participated in a violent gang. He also pledged to cooperate with prosecutors. The rapper, whose legal name is Daniel Hernandez, said he joined the 9 Blood gang in the fall of 2017. He says he helped them try to kill a rival gang member last March. Prosecutors say the gang carried out acts of murder, robbery, and narcotics trafficking in Manhattan, the Bronx, and Brooklyn. The indictment also said each gang member was required to participate in at least 2 acts of racketeering conspiracy, which could include murder, robbery, extortion, or drug distribution. The plea deal could allow Hernandez leniency at sentencing. He was facing a mandatory 47-year prison sentence. So during his courtroom snitch fest in September 2019, Tekashi took the stand and told on his former crew, naming guys like Anthony Harv, Ellison, Algeria, Nuke, Mac, and a few more. He basically laid out a full playbook of 9 Trey's moves, putting all kinds of dirt on the record. So where does Jim Jones come in? Well, his name popped up in wiretap audio that was played during the trial. In one of the calls, Jones was allegedly heard talking with Jamal Mel Murda Jones, another top 9 Trey member. In that conversation, they seemed to be plotting how to handle Tekashi after he went public about leaving the gang. And it sounded like Jim was hinting at some kind of retaliation. He definitely humiliating Shy right now. But well, you got your picture up there next to the post, man. When you go to YouTube and World Star, they got his picture next to this. Everything he say, they got a split screen with shoddy picture next to said this crazy son. But he doing that to make K9 think he don't got no relationship with boy. That's what he trying to do. He trying to, __, that's cool. But now he got to get violated. Yeah. Super violated. Super duper. So ain't too much he really do unless he go run around with 100 securities all day. You know what I'm saying? He going to get tired of P. He ain't getting enough money for that. That's a fact. And he just cancelled all his shows and he ain't a gang member no more. Nah, he ain't nothing. That's what Shoddy need to make sure he do. No tell he not a gang member no more. He kicked out the whip. He was never gang member. Shy need to expose him. That tape turned a lot of heads. Not just because it tied Jim Jones to the top 9 Trey members, but because it raised a bigger question. How did Jim end up on a federal wiretap talking gang business and still walk away with no charges? So, after the trial, people started asking the obvious. How does Jim get caught on tape talking about violating someone, but somehow he's the one NA affiliate who doesn't get indicted? Naturally, this sparked serious talk that Jim might have been working with the feds or at the very least cooperating enough to dodge heat. And no one pushed that angle harder than Whack 100. He straight up called Jim a federal informant, saying the only reason he didn't end up in cuffs was because he was playing ball with law enforcement. Whack doubled down on Clubhouse in interviews, even when talking to Tekashi. And he actually dared Jim to clear his name and show receipts that he wasn't cooperating. Jim Jones, right? He ran with the same I ran with a decade before I met him. Jim Jones, the Dipset that was just over there dancing on versus Jim Jones was running with Shadiq Fano Jordan Wright Mel Matrix JL Jones Murder Roland Martin he was running full banger Fuwan I forgot his last name. Fuku he was running with all of the cats I ran with and got his daddy for. You know what Jim Jones did? That, __, did not take care of none of them cuz when I ran to him, Shoddy was sleeping on the rug on, Madison between, Tompkins and Troop. Mel Murder was on Gates and Marcus Garvey with his bay mother. Roland Martin was just doing 9 years. He blew trial. That make them that take care of them. I from Shoddy was sleeping on a rug. Then driving a 63 Brents in 6 months living in a condo meetings with Kanye. Kanye was taking him to Yeezy meetings, board meetings, Matrix had his own everything on his own. His kid Lee Roland Martin came home to a new AP watch, money, cars, everything. That Jim Jones did not care. None of his can. And on top of that, Jim Jones was caught on wiretap telling John Jim Jones was caught on Jim Jones was caught on wiretap tell Jim Jones was caught on wiretap on my case telling he was telling the big homie Mel Matrix Gel Jones to go and get rid of my security. How you do it? How you shoot at them? They don't got no license to carry weapons. Own nothing in New York. Wack also agrees with him and says that you can find the audio online because it was used in the trial. 6ix9ine and Wack both question why Jim Jones isn't in jail if he was caught on tape saying he was going to kill 6ix9ine, suggesting that he must have cooperated in the trial. 6ix9ine also starts making some accusations about Desiree Perez, the CEO of Rock Nation. But Wack shuts him down before he can say too much. But it didn't stop there. Former Dipset member Jaw Jaw jumped in and threw more gas on the fire, claiming she had receipts that Jim set up his friend Mel Murda. Jimmy, Detective Jones, people at Splash Brand, do not with non-formants. I did 4 years in the F homie cause I ain't snitch. You set your best friend up on a wiretap. See Wack 100 and Tekashi. They don't got receipts like that because they really don't know. I know. Alright. Now that you know where all the Jim Jones is a snitch talk started, let's bring it back to Jay-Z.